Hello and welcome to the Growing in Business interview series. I'm your host, Fleming Johnson, and today I'm joined by Linda Bready, who is president at Clever CX. Linda, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
Would you like to kick us off with a brief background as to who you are and what you do?
Well, as you said, my name is Linda Bready. I'm currently the president of Clever CX, which is a digital engagement platform that is creating value across all levels of the wealth management industry for users, whether they're consumers, advisors, or asset managers and product providers. That's what I do in my day job. My background was not in this industry, so there are a lot of answers to that question. So I don't know how far back you'd like me to go.
What are some common misconceptions about running a business and how do you address them?
Well, first of all, it's a great question, and there are a lot of misconceptions. The first one that I think I've seen a lot is that there are people who believe that once they start a business, that they get to sit around and think big thoughts and direct other people in their function or whatever it is that they want to do. And that couldn't be further from the truth. A true entrepreneur is somebody who is going to be involved at all levels of their business. Quite frequently, when you start your own business, you're the only one. So you have to be the janitor, the bookkeeper, the president, the salesperson, the record keeper. You have to do all of it. But the other thing is that the other big misconception is that you don't have to do it all by yourself. There are people who can help you. So for those people who say, I have something I want to do, when I started my first firm, I found a niche. I wanted to do that. I wanted to help people, and I figured out how to do that. But I wasn't going to handle my bookkeeping because while I can balance my checkbook, that's not my focus. And so you find people around you, the network around you that can help you with the pieces that you need to get done. The last misconception, while you can be confident that what you do is awesome, that's why you have a job, that's why people buy your product or your service, you're not always right. Listen to people who have been doing this longer than you have, whether it's a suggestion in how to change what you do, a suggest that your customers are going to tell you which way they want you to go. Be flexible. So.
Excellent. How do you maintain a work-life balance as a business owner? And do you have any personal rituals or habits that keep you motivated and focused?
I think I do. I think it's incredibly important. Most entrepreneurs are going to laugh at you when you ask them that question the first time. When I get asked that question, I laugh and then I think about it, because when you start your business, there is no work-life balance. I started a business in the late 90s, and we provided back office services for financial advisors, billing, reporting, rebalancing reporting, all of those sorts of things. And when you start that job doing those sorts of services, you end up being busier than you think you're going to be. And there were times where I would wake up in the middle of the night and go, oh, I know how to fix that. And, at 1 o'clock in the morning, you're downstairs in your office on your computer fixing something because you figured it out and it needs to get done. That said, you have to take time to recharge. You have to figure it out. And so in the early days of my business, I figured it out in that I could do it in small pieces. I could take an hour here and an hour there, and I would go do something completely unrelated with what I do. I would read and not industry books, or I would go for long walks, or I'd go clean the kitchen and listen to my favorite rock music, whatever. Set yourself a time, cleanse from what you're thinking about, because then when you go back, you have a fresh outlook, and things that you were having problems with before you took the time off, you can solve. Things move forward faster that way. Now, a decade and a half later, I try to make sure that every evening I take some time to relax, still do things unrelated to what I do on a daily basis. And I like to, as I told you earlier, I like to look at the calendar for the next couple of days. Not that it's necessarily changed a lot, but it's just to remind me what's coming up. And that lets me figure out where I can fit in my 15 minutes. I'm going to go run for a cup of tea, or I'm going to go call a friend that I haven't talked to in a long time.
Good. So, in a constantly evolving business landscape, how do you stay adaptable and open to change? Are there specific strategies that you use to remain innovative?
Well, I don't know if it's specific strategies. I think I've been doing this a long time. I started from a really young age because my dad was an entrepreneur and had his own businesses. So I've been starting and trying businesses and deciding which ones aren't going to work and move on. And I think what I have come to the conclusion is that I am perfectly imperfect. I have a good understanding of who I am as a person, what motivates me, what does not motivate me, which is almost more important. And I have learned that when something's not working, stop, evaluate, and turn. Because if you keep pushing against the same wall, the wall's not going to get out of your way. You know, if there's an obstacle, you need to figure out, if you can't go through it, you've got to go over it, under it, around it, you know, have somebody else bulldoze it out of the way. And so in that adaptability, in trying to review all my processes frequently, I think that helps me, because I am going out to the market, I'm going out to customers and saying, is this working? Is that working? I'm reviewing what I do, excuse me. And if it's working, that's great. I'm going to move forward. I'll still ask my customers and the people I work with how we can make that better. But if it's not working, I'm not going to waste time. And I think a lot of that comes with, once you understand who you are as a person and where your focus is. When I was young, when I was 21, right? Like all 21-year-olds, you know, you're immortal, you're always right, and you're a perfectionist, or at least I was. I like to say I'm a recovering perfectionist now because I can let it go. And I think because of the way technology has grown, and I'm so invested in technology and what I do, you adapt and learn to make changes faster. I'm not sure that really makes sense, but it does in my head.
Could you offer a glimpse into your future plans and goals for your business? What do you envision for the next chapter of your entrepreneurial journey?
Sure. As I told you, I'm currently the president of Clever CX, and it's a great firm, and I'm working there with my business partners because they are amazing people. I know I won't be there forever, so I'm already working on a book. I have another friend of mine and I were working on a game application. And I miss my consulting. And I didn't tell you in the beginning, and I probably should have. I may have missed the question. But over the course of my career, I've gone in and out of companies that I've built and run. And in between, I spend time consulting with advisors and other people in the industry. And I actually miss that a lot. I know a lot of consultants say that it's a lot of work and it's hard, and it is, but I was always really lucky because I could pick and choose who I wanted to work with. And so I expect I'll go back to that eventually because I miss it.
Good. Now, what advice would you offer to aspiring entrepreneurs who are, say, just starting their journey or are facing challenges in their businesses?
So it's really easy for me to say because I'm here and I have been through that journey several times. The first would be face your fear. Don't be, no, I'm not going to say that because it's easy to say that. I was going to say don't be scared, but it's easy to say that now. Understand that it's going to be scary, right? You're going to be nervous on your sales calls. You're going to be terrified to do your first round of taxes. You're going to be, when you talk to somebody about getting a loan or investing in your business, that's all scary stuff. Don't let it stop you. Try and stay calm and know that it's going to be okay. Because the critical thing is that you ask for help when you need it. And that makes it easy. Or I guess I can't really say it's easy, but it makes it easier. And I'm a big proponent of people starting their own businesses. I think the world is a better place when we all follow our passion. I think people today have so much access to so much information and so much flexibility in what they do. My son just graduated from college and he's a game developer. And so he's looking for a job right now. He's just started the process, resume, portfolio, the whole 9 yards. But he's lived with a mom who starts company after company or idea after idea. And so he came to me right after graduation. He said, I'm looking for a job, but I'm working on my own game. And I'm like, yes, go do that. And he said, well, what happens if it takes me a little bit longer to find a job? And I'm like, that's all good. You have a passion. You're going to create something. And this is the only way you're going to realize that if you find that it is not in your nature to be an entrepreneur, that you don't want to do it yourself, you want to go work for somebody else, this is a great way to learn that. It's also a great way to learn that you can do it yourself if you want to. So take those chances. That's the real key. I don't mean to, like I said, I'm going to go back to full circle because I know in the beginning you were going to ask me, and I don't know if I missed it or not, but how I got started. And I mentioned my dad. But all of the people who I have met who are entrepreneurs, we all want to make a difference. We have found a hole, whether it's in the marketplace or a product or a service, or there's a gap and it bothers us. And we want to pave that over and make it easier so that when people come to that gap in the road, that there's a way over it for them. Does that make sense?
Outstanding.
It's like when you ask me, when you ask me about, the books and then how they are supposed to apply to all entrepreneurs, we're different. Every single one of us is so different. The friends of mine who I have that run their own businesses and we are in the same industry doing the same thing, and we're both so completely different. It's funny.
Thank you so much for your time today, Linda. It was great meeting you and learning more about your entrepreneurial journey. And to everyone watching, I look forward to seeing you in our next episode.